Hey guys, and welcome back to another Persona 5 The Phantom X video. My name is DFree, and in today's video, we're going to cover the best / top ways for you to get experience and level up wonder in the game. This is a game that's been out for about a week or so, and I'm sure that some of you guys have probably already figured it out, but for those of you who are still in need of the help, this video is for you. If you guys enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Also, if you have any friends that are interested in the game and or need help, make sure you share this video and channel to them as well. So leveling up wonder is one of the primary functions of the game because it will unlock your access to various pieces of content. Like for example, quite literally, you unlock certain things at certain level caps like guilds and stuff like that. But also your account level is wonder's level, but then your character progression is also tied to the overall account level. Like you'll hit roadblocks where it says, oh, get wonder to X level to continue advancing your other characters, right? Also, another thing that happens is throughout the story, sometimes you'll hit a roadblock. I think there's one at level 30, right? Level 30, I believe there was one, and things like that, to where you need to quite literally make sure you're leveling up wonder in order to keep playing the game. So the first thing I can tell you is that on that topic, leveling up is really easy, depending on how you want to do it. Now, if you're going to try to blitz through it and level up all in like one day or a few days or whatever, I guess, depending on how much you play, it's technically possible to get pretty far, but you're going to spend a lot of resources in the process of doing so. The easiest way to level up in the game is by completing goals. And this is extremely passive, and you get 2,000 experience for this. Like it's very easy to do. Actually, you get 4 drops of 2,000. So basically, you're able to do this pretty reliably, consistently, very easily. And that's a nice chunk of experience you'll get for wonder. And you also can progress your pass in the process. So very easy thing to do. But aside from that, you're going to be getting a ton of experience by completing missions and playing the story. As you play through the story and finish fights and stuff, you're going to get some small amounts of experience that obviously will add up over time. But as you complete the literal mission objectives, you get nice drops of 2,000 experience here, 2,000 there, so on and so forth. So completing these main missions and even the available requisite side missions will give you nice drops of experience, as you can see, for wonder to level up there, and that's very straightforward. Some of these side missions literally take no time, and you could, if you don't care about the story, you can technically just blitz through all this stuff by skipping all of the content as part of this, and you level up pretty effectively, right? So it wouldn't take a ton of time to do that. And that's one of the ways that I would recommend doing it again. So if you're keeping track, I listed off goals. I also listed that off. Now, if you're new and you've still got this available, the plans, you can also complete objectives here for experience too. They will be listed in here sporadically, not the craziest amount, but the thing about this is that you want to go out of your way to complete this. Yes, you do, of course, because you want to move on to plan 2, etc. But this is stuff you're going to passively be completing as you play through the game anyway. So it's a little bit of an extra additional amount that you get. It's not like a huge, like, for example, like goals, right? It's not like the daily missions and stuff, but it is helpful overall. Now, I wanted to move over to the metaverse, and we're going to talk about Mementos, because Mementos is another place you can go to, and you can, the fun thing about Mementos is you can kind of go in there and spend however much time you want in Mementos overall. It's pretty fun mode, I'd say, with all the different paths that they have and stuff like that. So currently we're in path 2 of whatever area this showed, but I want to go in and we're going to just take a look at the fair machine. And this is where one of the main ways you can get some experience. So as you get the tickets throughout these, you will get experience for wonder by sending in the tickets. So we're going to send this in now. And also, I believe you get experience from each fight that you do. It's a smaller amount and things like that. But yeah, so we do get some experience here. Playing Mementos is another way that you can, again, get some experience for wonder. And it is valuable just because you're able to get all the resources that are tied into you playing Mementos as well. And next is less of a budget-friendly way, because you can really spam this however you want to as long as you've got the resources for it. But it is a meaningful way in order to level up and level up a decent bit. And that is in the realm of Repression. And this one is tricky because it does have its own stamina system, which is why I said, you know, it's something that you can kind of come here and do, but it's up to you how much you want to influence it, because you can refresh. And as long as you're willing to put the currency in, or the coffee, whatever those things are, to get the stamina refreshes, you can do that. And you get a decent chunk of experience drops as you complete these. And the good thing is that, you know, you can run through and also kill two birds with one stone, because you are going to be farming the requisite material for each stage too. So ultimately what you do is you go in here, you complete this, and it doesn't take much time. It takes you a minute or so, minute and a half. So you go in here, you complete this, and then you max out the roll all of it, get the big experience drop. And then if you wanted to, and this is where, like I said, if you wanted to finish everything in like a couple of days, it would require a lot of resources. Again, I brought that up a few times. And also the game's super buggy, dude. Super buggy on global. I have no clue why. But anyway, you could do that. Use up the stamina to the, I think it's 5 rolls. We're going to see in a second. And then go back in, do it again, and then max roll again, and then just keep going. And then ultimately you're going to get a good amount of experience. I'm not sure what the amount is. I think it was like 7,000, right? Was it like 7,000 overall? But we're going to see in a minute here. I'm not sure if that scales on higher levels as well. Actually, I believe it does scale on higher levels or for different pieces of content. I pull up a chart here. It says training materials, 30 stamina costs, 5 spins available, 750 per spin from the minimum spin, 3750 for the maximum. Pursuit of Honor, 20 stamina, 6 spins, 500 minimum spin experience, and then 3,000. Yeah, so it does depend on which stage you're taking on technically. So the best one overall would be Persona Seal farming and Revelation cards, because with those you can run and get a maximum of 5,000 experience from those, because they drop 1,000 for the minimum, and then you can spin it 5 times. So that is the best possible way. All right, let's go ahead and run through this one here, and we'll get like 3,000, 37, whatever it is. 3,000. So you see it on the side. 3,000 experience is actually a good amount of experience, of course. It's not a ton when you weigh in how much you're using, you know, resource wise, if you are actually going in here and going crazy and running this a bunch. But ultimately though, again, Persona Seals and Revelation cards would be the ones that would give you the best drops. I want to go back and see which those ones are. And they're going to be these two here. So the training material there, Revelation cards here, you go in here, click whichever one you want to farm, complete this piece of content. And then ultimately, once you've done that, roll it to the max. And as you see, the main drop for just one is 1,000. So that's good. You don't have to technically max it out, but the max is 5,000 experience. So this is, again, for the 3rd, 4th time, an easy way to do this. Farming Persona Seals is also a double-edged thing, because there may be something like a persona you're working on or trying to fuse into, and you kind of may need to do this anyway. Maybe you just want to get them registered in your compendium. You want to go through there. You ultimately would have to get this done anyway, so you're kind of just, again, doing 2 things at once, and it's valuable to do so. This is content you're going to want to play at some point anyway, and it's a meaningful way. And again, the most, I guess, influential way to do it, but I still think the best way is to play the story mode overall, complete your missions or side missions, and then next, if you do it that way without spending like resources here, you're going to hit a roadblock inevitably where you aren't able to progress for like a day or 2 if you don't do some of this other stuff. And that's fine. At that point, what I would do is I would just rely on the dailies, because the dailies just drop a ton of experience and they take 5 seconds to go. Like seriously, they're super easy to complete the daily missions and they drop a lot of experience. So I would rely on that ultimately next. Like I think I've cleared another one here. There's 8 options here and it's not hard to do. So there's another 2,000 right there. Like I think this is the easiest way to do it aside from story completion overall. Another thing I wanted to point out is that as you progress in the palaces, you can go back into them, of course, and for every 10% that you complete on a palace, you do get extra rewards, including experience as well. So make sure that you go back into these and you complete them. But you want to go back in there and at least get 50 anyway, so you can get that weapon for Wonder as well, and keep on going, of course, and complete the ultimate 100%. But as you go, for each palace, you will get another 250, so on and so forth. So that is valuable. It does go up to 450 at the very end there. You want to make sure you're completing this. And then the next ones, I believe I saw that the next palace, if you were to go in, it's not 250. I believe it's 450 on those ones. So this is another meaningful way where you just passively get experience as you're playing and completing other content, because you would want to complete 100% of this anyway. And so with that, I think we've covered every way to level up. There may be some other alternative experience that's somewhere else, so let me know in the comments down below if we missed anything in particular. But even if we didn't cover all the minuscule amounts of drops, I think that we've covered pretty much everything you need to know in this video as it relates to leveling up quickly and efficiently with Wonder. Once again, the easiest way is story, main missions, side missions. Also, Yeah, if you forget your stuff, don't worry, they'll send it to you. So there's that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and you subscribe. And if the video is helpful, make sure you share it with your friends. And if you're interested in our top beginner tips, you can click the video on the screen right now and that'll take you directly to it. I'll see you there.